Amusement parks may be known for their roller coasters, but some of the most intense and thrilling attractions that can be seen for miles around, that can be over 200, 300, even 400 feet, are the classic and one of the most popular flat rides that were ever created, known as the Drop Tower. Now, the Drop Tower has been around for over 40 years, first being seen at Six Flags Magic Mountain back in 1982. Now, this was known as Intamin's freefall model, or as many may be familiar with the Demon Drop model. This first generation Drop Tower would have an elevator shaft that would bring the vehicle up to the top of the tower, then move forward, where it would then go down a separate shaft that would drop down an L-shaped ramp until the riders were positioned on their backs. Now, only 7 of these models were ever created between the years of 1982 to 1983. Unfortunately, this model would become discontinued after Six Flags Great America's The Edge. It could be because the incident that the Edge had when it was there for only 3 years. But the Drop Tower model has one of the most popular impacts on the flat ride market, considering that Intamin's build many different variations of the Drop Tower and inspired some other companies like S&S, which has their compressed air model that would shoot the riders to the top, and other companies like Funtime making their version of the Drop Tower. So with one of the most widely known amusement ride attractions, I want to look at the top 10 tallest freestanding drop towers in the world. Note, I'm not going to be looking at Zumanjaro or Lex Luthor, the Intamin Giant Drop 8 models, mainly because these models, they're attached to an existing structure compared to a freestanding drop tower, where it's more of an engineering marvel to see a giant tower just jutting into the sky compared to just a drop tower that's mounted onto an existing structure. And another reason why I will not be considering Lex Luthor or Zumanjaro on the list, because it's pretty obvious that will be number 1, so I wanted to make the list a little more unique by just including freestanding drop towers. Now, just a few disclaimers: I'm only looking at drop towers that are still existing, I'm not including defunct drop towers, and I'm not looking at structural height, I'm looking at just ride height, how high the car goes, not how tall the structure of the drop tower is. So with all that being said, it's time to get to the best part of the video of getting to the numbers. Number 10, Scream Gyro Tower at Heidi Park. Now, this drop tower is a little annoying considering it has a height of 338 feet, but only has a ride height of 233 feet. This is going to be the first gyro tower on the list, so there's going to be a few of these kind of drop towers. Now, if you're not familiar to what a gyro tower is, it's when there's one car that's rotating along the tower as it's going up. So that way it could give kind of a panoramic view of the entire park or the area. But this is definitely the smallest gyro tower that we're going to see on the list. Now, number 9 is actually a tie between 2 drop towers. One is Big Tower at Petro Camaro World, which is located in Brazil. Now, this drop tower is a multi-drop 4. So there was over 4 cars on the tower that are dropping simultaneously together, while going at a height of 264 feet with a structural height of 328 feet. The second drop tower is located at Kings Island. It was recently known as Stuntfall during the Paramount days, but was renamed Drop Tower when Cedar Fair took over. Again, has a height of 264 feet, but the structural height is only 305 feet. Now, this is another gyro drop tower, but has a speed of 67 miles per hour. Number 8 is another gyro drop tower featured at another Cedar Fair park. This is Drop Tower at King's Dominion. Now, the similarities are pretty much the same, there's just a few minor differences. It has a speed of 5 miles an hour more than Drop Tower at Kings Island, with a speed of 72 miles per hour. It has a ride height of 305 feet. With a structural height of 315 feet. Number 7, Hurricane Condor, located at Portaventura. Now, this drop tower is a little more different compared to the other multi-drop 4 models the Intamin's made. It has a drop height of 283 feet and has a structural height of 330 feet, but what's a little different about this one, it's that this one actually features a canopy at the top of the tower. Because the ride's themed to Mexico, it has kind of a theming aspect for the canopy, but it actually features cameras at the top that's meant to give you a flash before you drop, so it could actually take your picture, which many drop towers that you see, they don't really have a photo opportunity. That's just something a little different for this drop tower at Portaventura. Number 6, Atmosfear at Liseberg. Now, this drop tower actually has kind of a unique history behind it. In 1990, it was originally just an observation tower, a tower that was meant to just be a tame look around Gothenburg, Sweden. But in 2011, Liseberg turned it into a big, thrilling drop tower at a structural height of 381 feet, but a ride height of 300 feet. Liseberg wanted to keep some kind of large lookout point, but they wanted to improve on their thrill ride collection at the park, trying to keep the first aspect of the ride just sightseeing the area before it drops down at 68 miles per hour. Number 5, Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens Tampa. Now, this may not be the tallest drop tower on the list, but is by far the most intimidating and the one that evokes the most fear, considering it's at giga height of 310 feet, a structural height of 335 feet, but what makes this drop tower so intense, it's one of the only Intamin sky jumps in the entire world. So as the car goes up the tower, the seats are going to begin to rotate to have the riders face straight down, then plummet at 60 miles an hour until eventually the seats level out again so you're facing upright. Built in 2015, it is one of the most intimidating flat rides ever created. Although this is one of the only Intamin sky jumps ever made, there is one at Groenland, not nearly as tall as Falcon's Fury, but still just as intimidating. Number 4 is Donjon de Extreme at Nigloland. Please correct me in the comments below if I said that wrong. Now this drop tower is actually the first one that's not made by Intamin on the list so far. It's made by Funtime and is their version of the gyro tower. Unlike Intamin with the gyro tower, the seats are more spread out so it can have a higher capacity. The Funtime gyro towers are more compact towards the tower so it doesn't fit that many people around the circular car. The ride has a height of 312 feet and a structural height of 345 feet. Number 3 is actually another tie. It's between Blue Fall at Sea Paradise in Japan and La Venganza de Enigma over at Parque Warner Madrid. Please let me know if I butchered the name at Parque Warner. So La Venganza is actually the world's largest SNS drop tower. Now SNS drop towers are a lot different compared to like Intamin drop towers. They use compressed air to shoot the car up to the top of the tower rather than using like a cable system to pull the car up and just suddenly drop it. They like to use compressed air to shoot the car up then have it like a bounce feature going up and down the tower. So the one at Parque Warner is over 328 feet in drop height and then 377 feet in structural height. Now Blue Fall at Sea Paradise in Japan is a multi-4 Intamin drop tower. So it's like the few others I mentioned like Hurricane Condor or Portaventura, except this is the largest multi-4 drop tower in the world. Again, since it's tied with Parque Warner's drop tower, it has a drop height of 328 feet and then a structural height of 351 feet. Now we're getting into the top 2, and starting off number 2 is the tallest gyro drop tower in the world, Highlander at Hansa Park. Now this drop tower is a remarkable structural height of 394 feet with a drop height of 338 feet. So this drop tower is manufactured by Funtime and reaches speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. This drop tower is actually themed to like Scotland in their new Great Britain section of the park and was a recent new addition in 2019. Now, number 1 is Giant Drop at Dream World in Australia. Now, this drop tower was actually host to the 4th tallest coaster in the world. Right on the side of the drop tower was Tower of Terror 2, this massive Intamin shuttle coaster where only 2 was ever built. The other one was Superman at Six Flags Magic Mountain, but it was torn down in 2019, and the drop tower is still standing here today. The drop height is a whopping 377 feet and a structural height of 390 feet. And until Lex Luthor or Zumanjaro came into the mix, it held the record for the tallest drop tower in the world for 14 years. A tower that held one of the tallest coasters in the world and one of the tallest flat rides in the world. It may not hold one of these records anymore, but still a remarkable tower to behold. So those are the tallest freestanding drop towers in the world. If I were to include Lex Luthor or Zumanjaro, Lex Luthor would have came in at number 2 and Zumanjaro at number 1. So if you enjoyed this list, please consider subscribing down below. Please tune in for more Great American Coasters, and I'll see you guys in the next one.